Sometimes it's just real hard to get all these electronics to work right.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about spiritual warfare today. And in Ephesians 6 it says, "For we are not wrestling with flesh and blood," or the meaning of that would be on physical opponents, "but against disposition, against powers, against the master spirits who are the rulers of darkness, against the spirit forces of wickedness in a supernatural or in the heavenly spheres." Jesus said that the greatest danger will come in the form of deception. Drinking that drink looks fun because we never see what happens at 4 o'clock in the morning after drinking 20 of those drinks. So it comes in the form of deception. It comes in the form of enticing you. Spiritual warfare is between here and here because it's not in the physical world. It deceives us in our mind. If I were to insult you, you would feel that sting immediately. If I were to embarrass you, you would be the first to know it. Deception can be deadly because you don't realize you are being betrayed, misled, seduced, or ensnared. Deception can be enticing. That is why Jesus said the greatest danger comes in the form of deception. Because we don't realize we're being betrayed or misled, seduced, or ensnared. It takes us a while to figure that out, and most of us don't always figure it out completely. This war is for our hearts, our minds, and our soul. Any student of strategy knows that the war is deception at its very center point. What we need to figure out is where this battle is and what does it have to do with us. If it's not a physical war, but it still affects us, it must come to us in some way. Or else spiritual warfare wouldn't be important to us. And it's not important to a lot of people because they don't understand it. It comes to us through our physical senses, our sight, our touch, our hearing, our smelling, and our taste. That's how things get into us, through our physical senses, because our spiritual senses and our physical senses work together, like this. So, it's well-laid plans and deliberate deception. We must remember that the destructive force is not in a hurry. The destructive force is patient. It kind of chips away at us a little bit at a time. And our thinking kind of deteriorates. We wage our wars and our battlefield is in our mind. We must be diligent and we must be mindful. Constant vigilance with our thoughts. You and I have to remember there are no padded crosses. If there was a padded cross, Jesus would have had it. We always need to remember where the mind goes, the man will follow. Pay attention to where your mind goes. Pay attention to where somebody else's mind goes, because that's where the person is going to go. Also, another real physical way of looking at things is follow the money trail. Think about this. If you want to know where somebody's heart is, follow their money trail. We put our hearts where our money is. We put our hearts where our thoughts are. If you're confused, You see somebody tell you something, listen to what they say. The unspoken words that they say. Follow their money trail. None of us can live a good life, focused life, with destructive thoughts. We can't do it. We're going to go downhill somehow or another. And remember, the destructive force is patient, so it can take us quite a while. You have to attune your thoughts to the good things that you want for yourself. And then you have to act on the good things that you want for yourself. Some of the hardest decisions you ever make are the decisions you know you have to make. That's why when you live long enough to have your head and your heart operating together, that'll give you the foundation to carry out those very difficult decisions it gives you a foundation. You cannot carry out difficult decisions without having that good foundation, without that knowing. If we do not do anything about our thoughts, we will not be able to do anything about our behavior. If you have bad behavior, see what thoughts are going on in your mind. We have so little control of our thoughts, and yet that is where we need to focus on to do our fighting in the spiritual warfare concept. It's not out there and up there somewhere. It goes on right here. Anybody that has been associated with someone who has been addicted to drugs or alcohol knows the pain they're going through. Well, it all starts with a thought. I can do this one, I can do that, I can get away with it. What's the difference? You know, that's just not good thinking. And then it affects everybody that loves that person or takes an interest in that person. Always, always examine your motives. That is a tool that is available to us so we can examine why we are doing what we do. If I go to visit Burleby in the hospital because I want something from her, I have a motive. I want something in return. That's not freely loving somebody. That's not freely giving something. If I go visit Burleby in the hospital because she's sick and I want her to know that we care, that's an action of love. Examine your motives. Figure out why you do what you do. Always, always examine your motives. Humans' desires that go undisciplined equal addiction. And remember, all things that are done in extreme ends up being abuse to your spirit. If you eat in extreme, if you watch TV in extreme, whatever you do in extreme, it's not good for you. Moderation. The Bible teaches moderation. All of the big holy books, the big religions will teach moderation. With every privilege that comes, there's a responsibility. If you want a new car, you've got a responsibility. Sadie has just found that out. She got a new car, which means she's got to pay bigger insurance prices. She's got to make sure she takes it in for the oil change. She's got all these big responsibilities with her new car. So when you want something, you have to make sure that you're ready for the responsibility. God cannot do something through you until he does something with you. God has to do something with you. He has to prepare you. And all of this is about living our life. So spiritual warfare is not about wrestling with our flesh and blood. It's about what we allow in and what happens next to us. So remember, no matter what your problem, God is still the answer. And if you trust in your Heavenly Father, he'll never let you down. God bless you.